What's up? It's young Curtisy on the map. 6'1". No, he hasn't.
Hi, I'm Lasse Follum. I'm a Dublin-based artist. I have been doing music for about a year and it's going, I would argue, pretty okay. I have a sold-out show in Whelan on Thursday, which is a bit of a flex, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And yeah, I'm about to release an album, so stay tuned. You.
Hello, my name is Callum Wall.
It's not what you did, it's what you left behind. It's not what you did, no, it's what you leave behind.
Good question. Well, I started last Apollo like in the depths of lockdown, so like a year ago, and the music really kind of, it's just standard indie rock music. It kind of goes into different areas, and I think because I grew up listening to a lot of different types of music and playing a lot of different types of music, so like I grew up playing trad and classical and rock all together, so my sound is kind of just like all of those things mushed together into one very nice kind of eclectic sound. I hate to use the word eclectic because it's like the biggest buzzword ever, but it is just a nice ball of like a lot of different styles of music, so I think it's kind of a nice original sound to it anyway.
I started music, it was pretty late. I was about 17 when I started. I was more into kind of like art and that kind of thing when I first started. Like when I was growing up, like from when I was like really young, I just wanted to do like art, like painting and that kind of thing, because I could never like play guitar. Like I went to guitar lessons when I was younger and it just like wasn't my thing. I just couldn't like figure it out.
Oh, like I started playing the piano when I was like 5, classically, and I played that. I still play that, but I finished kind of classical music when I was like 18, so there's a lot of like musical theory experience there, which made it kind of easy to write songs. And then when I was like 8, I started playing the violin and I started playing a lot of trad. And then in 4th year, I started like a small band with my friends, and that's where I kind of got used to playing with other people and playing rock music with other people. And then I started a new band in 6th year, and that band went for ages, like 3 or 4 years. It only really ended like a few months ago. That was called Inertia, but it's over now. Then after Inertia, which ended in 4th year, this year, at the start of this year, then I started Last Apollo as a kind of way, because I was playing all these different groups of music and I was playing a lot of other people's music, and I just wanted to write my own music and play my own music. And so I'm finally doing that now, and it's really exciting.
I got real into it then. I started a band when I was like 17 because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I was like shit at school and I was like, okay, well I want to do like something to do with art and music, and so I started a band and I just kind of did the songwriting side of it because I've always been like really into poetry and that type of thing, so I'd like write my poems, and then I'd like have friends that are good at the music side of it and they kind of put it to the music. And then after a while then, if you're in a band, you kind of have to learn guitar as well. So when I was about 18 then, I got a guitar for my birthday and I started playing guitar then.
I was so excited to play in a band for so long, so I adored playing at gigs and everything, but it got to a point where like we'd be on stage, we'd be playing, and I'm so obsessed with myself that I was like, God, I wish I was doing more. Like I wish because there was so many things I would have done differently in the band, and there's just like, I wish I had a bit more control of like how we did things on stage and like what we played on stage. So I felt confident enough. I think I needed to be in that band to find enough confidence in myself to actually believe in my ideas because before that I always just assumed every idea I had was crap. But after being in that band, I like tested some things out and it worked, and I was like, okay, I could do this. Like I could have enough confidence to do this by myself.
Then when like lockdown came, I remember I got like an old like 2013 Mac for Christmas, and I recorded a song, put it up on YouTube. And I did kind of well just with like my local friends at home back in Sligo. And then I was like, okay, this is like what I love, the whole like recording part of it. It's like it's like painting out a song in your DAW, like that's what I loved with it. So that's kind of what I kept doing then. I kept recording and learning, and it was really shit and everything was horrible, and like I'd like show it to my friends and they'd be like, this is like the best thing ever. Like my little cheerleaders like kind of helped me along, and like that was great. And then around this time last year like 2 days ago, like last year, I released my first EP, Living in Limbo, which like you listen back to it now, it's not like the best produced, but it's like all me, which I love, like that part of it, that it's like everything on this is like my full piece of art, you know what I mean?
When I'm making the songs, like it's all just me, like what I want to make, and how I'm feeling and what today is about. But like when I'm putting stuff together or when I'm releasing it, it's more I'm thinking about what it's gonna do and who's gonna listen and how many people are gonna, you know what I mean? But when I'm making, I have a load of music. Like I have hundreds of songs, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of them are fairly shit though. A lot of them are half-assed, stoned out of the head, making songs, you know what I mean? But these songs were all one day on the EP, like all just 2-3 hours, me and Ryan. You weren't there. One of the days fell asleep. Yeah, but yeah, it feels good. It felt good that was all just one session. It was all one stream of consciousness. It was just out into the world, you know what I mean? It felt good.
I think like the whole thing that I like love about like having an EP is like that's like a part of your life, and like that tells a story. Like that EP is like, I think people believe it more. Do you know what I mean? If they can actually see like this is your piece of art. Like this was this period in your life.
Once I've kind of established, once I've established that people like know that I can do all the fancy kind of music, I want to be a bit more creative with my choices. And I think even with my newer songs that you'll hear at Whelan's, they're not trying to prove as much to the audience. They're more songs that I've written for me and that I like because I've written these cool, like impressive songs with like time changes and stuff like that. And so these new songs, they're simple and because I don't feel like I have to prove anything anymore, so I feel like they're a lot more authentic and they really are they're quite transparent, and I think they really show my thoughts without all the bells and whistles. They're really kind of simple songs. So it's exciting. I've never written songs like this before that are kind of easy, or they're just kind of like accessible and they're not very in your face. I think my first album was really in your face. Like, listen to me, I'm good at music, listen to me, take me seriously. But the newer stuff is not in your face because I trust that people will listen to it anyway.
I'm trying to have fun. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit there and stress about music, like, you know what I mean? I want to enjoy myself, try and get me little thoughts out of my brain. Yeah, and the releasing is like, I still gotta release mad shit on SoundCloud, and that's what I do. Like on SoundCloud, it's all half-ass shit, and it's fun, and I even enjoy releasing that more than like, I kind of like if I'm thinking too much about like how this song's gonna do, then I just keep checking it. You know what I mean? If I bring it out, I just keep going back onto that, how many views I have, how many, you know what I mean? But if I bring something out on SoundCloud, I leave it, and then when people say that song's good, I'm like, yeah, it is. You know what I mean? I was like, I knew I should have dropped that song. You know?
I want to not have to avoid being a girl to be successful. I want to be successful while also like being perceived as like female, if that makes sense. I don't want that to be the only part of my brand, but I also don't want it to be that I'm avoiding this whole thing and trying to just be a male artist. Because I think with my first album, I am definitely trying to be like a male artist, which is like interesting. It's definitely the reason I picked a pseudonym or a moniker. I didn't want people to know straight away that it was like Lucy Rice, and they're like, I'm not going to listen to a girl, like, because that's a thing that happens, that people like hear or like see a female artist be like, I know what this music's going to be, I don't need to listen to this music. So I definitely picked or chose to have a moniker for a reason. But I think now that I'm a bit more comfortable with how people perceive me as well, I think I'm like kind of happy to not like lean into what's that word? Stereotypes. But I'm not going to try and avoid them and like sacrifice something I want to write about just because I think people will immediately not listen to it because they think it's just another girl writing about like a boy or something, you know?
And my goal is always to like just kind of write about what's going on, like whether that be like in my head or like how I'm like viewing the world at that moment in time. So it's like, and like that's like the next release that I'm doing, it's going to be like a little bit different from the last one. Like I can't pretend I'm still like, this is my life, do you know what I mean? So I try to like write, like if I sit down and write a song today, it's going to be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling today. So then when I look back at it like next year, like I look back at the last one, it's like, well, that was me then. Yeah. It's like a diary or something like that.
Old band, that was definitely one of the things. It was an all boy band, and I kind of hated how confident they could be. Especially because we were in school, and in school, especially in an all girls school, there's definitely a kind of atmosphere of being like, you can't say you're good at something. Like if someone said, oh, like you sang really well, you'd say immediately like, no, like I made loads of mistakes, it was really bad. Like I'd say that all the time. Because if you heard someone like trying to take themselves seriously or like try and do something. Like you'd hear people the next day being like, did you see like what she posted online or something like that? So I never posted any videos of me singing or anything in school because I just thought people would like laugh at me. But then yeah, I know. But then I got into that band and I got annoyed, a little bit frustrated at how confident Ryan was able to be as the front man, and just like he just, there was definitely just this idea that because he was a guy, he just had this confidence growing up or something. I don't think that's really the best way to describe it, but I definitely feel like guys can sometimes feel a lot more confident pulling something like that off, whereas with me I always felt like I had to make sure I wasn't like being too out there or too loud. So yeah, I've always written with the idea that it's like male, which I've never actually realised until right now, but I've always tried to look up to guys, and I like when I write or when I perform, until really recently there's only guys that I looked up to, because I thought that's what you had to be perceived as just not like a girly girl or like, oh look, she's trying too hard or something like that, because I feel like with guys they always were just able to get away with being more flamboyant or something. But I think recently I've really made an effort to find female artists and like start to like see other people like Wet Leg and stuff, like their class. They don't have to like pretend, or like they don't have to completely avoid being girls to be successful, and so it's really cool finding acts like that now. My sound is like completely DIY, and like that's not necessarily intentional, because it just is like DIY, like I'm doing it all myself. So but I think my sound, what I try to do is like try and like, it's important to have like the words saying what you want to say, but I think like sonically it's important as well for like the guitar to sound how you want it to, like how you want the listener to feel and that kind of thing. So I think like definitely like every instrument and every chord, every like lick is like it's there for a reason, do you know what I mean? And like every tone that I use, but like that changes then, do you know what I mean? So like I don't know what my sound will be like in like a year's time, but I know like it'll still be like authentic to who I am at the moment in time. Like a lot of the next stuff I'm doing, it's like might be like slightly darker, because maybe I have like a darker song, where like the last thing I had, it was a little bit more like optimistic, and like that's the sound that it had. Like the next thing might be like slightly darker if there's a darker song, do you know what I mean? But I think when you like look at my discography, like in the next, I don't know, maybe in like 10 years, I'm hoping anyway, it'll be like kind of a gradual move into something like that. I have no idea what it'll be yet, but my goal is to just keep it like authentic and try and like the diary thing, like making it be like, this is who I was here, and like you can kind of all see it blend into each other. I'm not writing every day though, I'm straight back, but I'll be back on top soon. I'm more nervous about the gigs and fucking, you know what I mean? I keep getting into one side of it. I'm not completing the other side of it, you know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about a gig for 3 months straight, and then not writing any music. And then like I've no gigs, I'm writing loads of music, I'm not trying to get gigs, and I'm broke. Like I have no job. So like, I'm broke from 6 weeks ago until the day after the show. Or unless I get paid Eventbrite, it's like 4 days after the show.
It must be most frustrating for anybody listening to me, because they say she's not telling us. And it's not that I'm not trying to tell them.
Yeah. Who are you here to see?
Last Apollo. Lucy. Yeah, Lucy. And then I listened to their music, like Reservoir. And it's just such a fantastic song. So sweet, again, like it's just, I love the kind of vibe that they give off, you know what I mean? It's perfect. Like,
nice to hear like, I don't know, like small, like young, indie like people actually getting some kind of like platform and like audience, because she's so talented. Like she's so good.
Coin gets away from me, the kindness of people that stayed with me. When I was crazy, there was no containing me. It wasn't explained to me, and now I'm able to aim. I was living life aimlessly. The pain was maintained by the same one that hated it. I'm not a stranger to what failure is. What's in me brain getting painted on the pages, but only after blazing big. The loneliest, the laziest, the doziest, the cadences. I I've been hoping for the rain so I can stay a bit and just linger in it.
Callum got that voice, but what was the definition there?
Angelic, simply. Everybody, when we were sending the demo around, I sent it to my mum, my girlfriend, her homies, my homies. Everybody said, that's like a Michael Jackson OG. You know that angelic, one-of-a-kind voice, bro. It's like people hear him and they think he sounds so good. They think he's a girl singer because girls sing better than guys. Excuse my mistake of speech.
Let's resolve it with the talk and fuck the fisticuffs. I have a brother who's just looking for a bitch to fuck. I have another that's been fucking up his wrist for cuts. They feel away, but how they act is just a different buzz. Keep that in your mind, continue being kind, and you'll intertwine with the people that can make your inner spirit shine. Catch me spilling wine, never catch me spilling tea. Living in a city where the villains
yeah, Gavin. Yeah, he's very talented, and it's really interesting because it's like he really ticks all the boxes in terms of rap. He's like lyrically, if you actually read his lyrics, it's like it has all the fucking techniques, it has all the internal rhymes, sibilants, all of this stuff. And then he also, like, the way it's delivered isn't too serious, and I think that's the most important way. He's just having fun with it.
See me sitting in the dressing room or whatever beforehand.
Get me makeup done and all.
Outfit check. Getting the hair glowing.
I need it.
What were you feeling, bro?
Shit scared. Even now still shit scared every time.
Yeah.
But like very excited, like with shit scared. Like I'm bad at remembering lyrics. I'm bad at not being stoned and drunk 90% of the time. So remembering lyrics gets a bit hard. Even like the majority of times when I start rapping, like when a song comes on, the beat comes on, I'm about to rap and I'm like, I have to turn around and be like, what's the title of the song? Like the producer knows more than me. Like
I am still always terrified when I go on stage. I think people think because I look really confident on stage that I'm like really comfortable up there. Like even before the gig on Monday, which was a tiny gig, I like honestly felt really sick backstage. I hate waiting to go on because I like the longer I wait, just the longer I think about everything that could go wrong. But yeah, so before the first time I went on stage to play my own music, that was terrifying. I was so scared, but I'm so glad I did because I wouldn't be doing any of this if I didn't do that one. And I was just so lucky to be in a really like supportive atmosphere where everyone loved it. So
the first gig we did with like Callum Wall, with Callum Wall label was like Wild Roots, which was a festival, which was like so out of our like depth for like our first gig with a band. And like that was just like crazy, like anxiety like the whole time. It was like 3 days before, it was like we were like, oh my god, like this is so fucking scary. And then like a gig after that, I think we played in like, I think it was like Grand Social or something, and like 2 days before it was like, oh my god, I'm like shitting it. And then like the next one was like the whole day you were like got up early and I'm like drinking honey and lemon and I'm like just so anxious. But like as time goes on, it's kind of like, and it's kind of the reason why we stopped gigging for a while as well, is you kind of lose the excitement a little bit. It becomes kind of normal, and I think the crowd were starting to recognize that towards the end of like our like big long stint when we were doing like 3 gigs a week. I think the crowd were kind of recognizing I was getting on stage and like I get into the songs and like I believe it and like I give it all I got, but it just like that excitement wasn't there. Like it was just kind of normal. And like I think now it's like it's like really healthy, where it's like, you know, you still have like your like healthy nerves before going on, and it's just exciting getting on stage. If you're doing it like once a week or something like that, like you just look forward to it.
I always at the end of every single show, it's like that was a fantastic show. I don't know what I was scared about. Then a week later, I get offered the show and I'm like, oh, I'm shitting. But it's always been great. Yeah. It's always fun, and everybody always shows me mad love when I go off stage. People, proud of you, man. Claps, cheers, all sorts of things that good people get, you know.
When I was like 8 or 9, my dad showed me a video of Queen, and I became obsessed with Freddie Mercury. Like even still today, like before gigs and stuff, like when I'm trying to hype myself up, like the night before, I'll watch loads of Queen live performances just to see him on stage and just remember that that's the energy I want to have, that's the control I want to have over an audience. So I always say that for performance, Freddie Mercury. I wanted to be on stage, and I wanted to be this icon that people like loved here and loved being around. So, and like has this really cool control over the audience. So for performance, want to write like Freddie Mercury. For like sound, I love Cage the Elephant. I love how every album they have has a really specific sound, how you can tell what album a song is from, and how the albums themselves have really varied sounds, but they always have kind of a heart of like Cage the Elephant. And then I think I also really loved, when I was younger, I really loved like hearing female artists. I didn't hear a lot of them, especially because the music I liked was from the 70s and 80s. I said like 60s and 70s. So there wasn't a lot of female artists, and I definitely gravitated more to male ones. And I think even still when I'm on stage, I kind of sometimes like adapt a more masculine idea of myself, just because I feel like that's what I grew up wanting to be. But Kate Bush was one that was there, and I just adored like seeing a woman just being an icon on stage. So I loved her as well. She definitely inspired me as well.
I'm quiet, like especially in like a green room, like everybody's talking like it's not just about to happen. So I'm way triple anxious more than everybody else, like, because everybody's just having a laugh, drinking. I'm like checking words and all. Like I'm texting the producer, is that right? Is this? You know, I'm usually getting beats 15 minutes before the show and all. Like I'd be forgetting shit, and then I'm just getting drunk to push that aside. You know what I mean? I'm getting a few beers into my body. It usually calms me down. I'm usually going out with a smile on my face. I'm not too. They'll be sweating on the stage though. Like even with a t-shirt, I'll be sweating on the stage. I look like Kevin Hart, man. You ever see Lee Evans when he did comedy? You don't know him? You know Lee Evans? Yeah, he's soaking wet. He had 2 towels with him at all the shows I was seeing. Like he always has a towel here and a towel there. It's funny. That's how I need to be. Every show that I'm going to, I'm like, I'm bringing a fucking towel. Forget the towel. Every time. It's funny. But yeah.
What's that energy like then, bro? When they're shouting it back at you and you're up there sweating them up?
It's a good feeling, man. It takes the sweats away a little bit. It takes that feeling in the belly away a little bit. It's good. It's good. And there's always like good friends of mine in the close. You know what I mean? I see people that I know. Like there hasn't really been a time where I've been performing to nobody that I know. You know what I mean? Like and I just kind of focus on the people I know. Like I'm making eye contact with people. I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Am I supposed to be looking at people in the soul? No, I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, sometimes I would be like saying inside jokes and all. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, can you get in?
Life before, that's why the water's colder now, and the waves are loud, but it won't be like life before. That's why I say.
Okay, 5 years. Let's go. I think in 5 years, I want like hot press and stuff like that. Instead of me emailing them being like, you should listen to my new thing that I've got out, I want them to be like writing posts being like, Last Apollo's about to release something, I wonder what it's going to be about. That's kind of what I want. I want people to be, I don't want to be the one trying to get people to listen to my music. I want them to be trying to get me to like show them more music and stuff like that. I kind of just want people to be as excited about my music as I am, which the people who listen to it are.
And I hope not to do that where it's like moving with the times too much. Like I'm hoping to keep it all from like my head, you know what I mean? Where you see that shit and like you know Ed Sheeran isn't deciding like he wants that visuals on that thing. Like it's like that's just what works. Like I'm hoping to kind of take influences from like myself and like the people around me and like the scene. Like there's such like a great scene in Dublin. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like that's still me.
So I think if I literally just keep working hard, because I am, the way I've grown up, like I've grown up with really academic parents who just really value hard work. So I think in the same way that people put loads of hard work into like studying, I obviously study really hard, but does that surprise you that I study very hard? But I think if I just apply that same kind of drive to just like Last Apollo, it does seem to like go somewhere. It's a lot of effort, and for like this amount of work you get about this amount of payoff, but it mounts, it accumulates. So you know, I think the plan is likely. I'm telling you, in 5 years, gonna be making serious moves. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely be doing festivals next year. And then the world is mine after that, innit? Once you do the festivals, who's gonna stop me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. Festival be crazy, man. Like, imagine the amount of people at a festival, man. People on mad sorts of drugs and all.
You have to do 44 minutes.
Yeah. And then you can enjoy the rest of the festival. You know what I mean? Like, even at a show, it's like, there's 2 or 3 other good people that I like, but like, I'd like 17 other people I can go listen to, you know what I mean, after my show and have a good time. I just want to get into a festival for free. That's the only reason I do this rap shit, so I can get into shows for free.
This effect on me. Will you still be there when I go home? I hope you won't get bored of me. Same conversations on a blue line screen, like a shattered pane scattered miles apart. You pierce my heart. 4 weeks till I walk the streets and I find a place that's only you and me. They say distance makes the heart grow stronger, but I don't know. But I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know.
And your fake on this rocky day because I sloppy and I'm on the case. Chop this long race, please. Be so you swear what you made.